Swords have been a symbol of war and combat for thousands of years. Even in today's modern society, swords are used in many of the most important military and state ceremonies. An example of this is the knighting ceremony performed by the Queen of England, where a sword is used to touch the shoulders of the knighted individual. The main component of a sword is the blade. The blade itself is made up of 6 parts: the edge, the tip, the flat, the fuller, the back, and the ricasso. The edge is the sharpened portion of the blade. The sword may be single or double-edged. For example, a Japanese katana has a single edge, but a Scottish claymore is sharpened on both sides. The tip, the end of the sword furthest away from the hilt. The guard is the piece that separates the handle from the blade. The hilt is an attachment of the guard. Most swords taper to a point at the tip, but some blade lines are straight until the very tip. A few swords, such as the US Civil War saber, are curved along the length. The back. The back is the part of the blade opposite of the edge. Of course, a double-edged sword has no back. The flat. The flat are the sides of the blades. Every blade has at least 2 flats. The fuller, often called the blood groove or gutter. The fuller is a narrow groove that runs most of the length of many swords. The actual reason of the fuller is to decrease the weight of the blade without diminishing the strength. This is similar to the use of an I-beam when building a skyscraper. The ricasso. The ricasso is found on only some swords. The ricasso is an unsharpened part of the blade just before the guard. It was typically used on heavier swords to provide a place to grip when the second hand is needed. In some cultures, the sword is a legendary artifact. An example of this is the Japanese stories will have the antagonist and the protagonist wielding swords. Usually at the end of the story, both characters will have a duel, even though sometimes it may be unrealistic.